So reticula is what I've mentioned before, is just a word that describes the framework that we're going to work within. And the fragment is what we tangle inside the reticula, or each of the sections of the reticula. So the fragment usually don't have names, but this one, I'm surprised I don't just call this a tangle because it's so lovely. But so the fragment is called Mrth. Okay, so we're doing Pangea with Mrth. We'll start with our 3.5-inch tile, and we'll take a moment and take a few deep breaths and relax. And using the pencil, we'll start with our traditional corner dots. And we'll join those to form our border. And our string today, I'm going to just roughly draw an orb. This does not have to be anywhere near perfect. Just roughly an orb, just to give us a guideline. And I'm going to just jump right in with my pen. I'm using the burgundy one, but any color, black, brown, any color will work. So this particular reticula, it's very, there is no shape to it. It's just like a blob. So I'm just going to, in the center here, I'm going to just draw a shape. Okay, no thought, no nothing, just go for it. You can see the size of it in relation. It's about the size of the thumb. If you like doing this, you may enjoy watching the YouTube video that comes with Rick and Maria from headquarters. They are doing it on a larger tile, on a Zendala, and it's really, really lovely. So I wanted to change it up a bit so that in case you wanted to do both, this one would be a little bit different. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just pick a section of our shape, and we're going to aura a little bit of it. So I'm just going to take this section here and aura a little, and then I'm going to go off and create another shape. No two are ever going to be the same. And I'm going to continue around and overlapping where I'm auraing. So I'm going to, maybe this one will start here. And I'll do an aura, and then I'll just go off. And I'm not, I went over my circle. My circle is just a guide, just to fill these in. So I'm just going to keep going, trying to keep my aura fairly similar. Just keep adding these shapes. I'll just put one more in. I could probably squeeze 2 in, but I think I want to keep them on the larger side. So I'm just going to put one more in. So this is our framework that we're going to put our fragment in, and the fragment is called Mrth. So fragment is just how we're going to tangle the section. And when I look at Mrth, I kind of think of it's a blending of diva dance and pepper, which we have done both of them recently. Diva dance is in the door of our gingerbread house, and oh, the pepper was on the gingerbread house as well. So we can start with any one of our shapes. Well, why don't we start in the center? That's a good place to start. And we're going to put a smiley face. And you can go in any, you can face any direction or any which way. So I'm just going to put a smiley face. Just An idea of size there. And then coming out of the smiley face, we're going to put 3, 4, or 5, how many ever fit for how where you're aiming for, or the shape of your curve, your half circle. We're going to put lines that are going to come just to the edge. And then at the edge of our shape, we're going to weight the line. So that's our first line. And then we're going to put, like I said, you're going to try to fit 3, 4, 5 in here, but these are going to be auras. So you're going to try to stay about the same distance away. And then you're going to just weight the ends. Well, maybe I can get one more on each side. And sometimes when you're weighting the edge, the curve may kind of tell you how to add that little weight to the edge, sometimes not. Okay, so that's the first step. And then we're going to come back to where we did our little, well, it's almost like a crescent moon or smiley face. I'm going to just close off both sides and color in, because we want to make it look like there's a little kind of, that these are coming out of a hole. Then what we're going to do is, working from where we closed off, we're just going to put a line on each side, and then we're going to add weight to the end of each of those. Then, working one side at a time, I'm going to aura and add weight to the end. So each time the general shape, and I'm just coming directly off of them, the line that was there, is going to change slightly. And then just go until your space is filled, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to do an aura and add a little weight to the line. That one I probably don't have area to add the weight, so I'm just going to just put the line in. So now you can see we have our center that's sprouted out of the little hole, the happy face. And then we've gone from each side. Now I'm just going to follow along this one side, and I'm going to just keep aura in the previous line and work my way around the curve. So I'm just going to aura and add a weight. And the aura and add weight, and every line is going to change shape. So I'm keeping my distance, coming around as best I can. And now I'm at a point where I'm going to just move up to this line here and start and bring my aura in from up there. These are always going to be different. Everyone is going to be so different because it's going to depend on the outside shape and the distance of your auras. This is definitely a tangle. You can't go wrong. I can just pick any one around my outside, and I'm just going to start it just the same way. I'm going to put in a happy face. And then I'm going to go up to the outside edge. I can add 3, 4, 5, how many ever fit. I might stop there. And then I'm going to close this off. And then from that line, I'm going to just take a line out on both directions and add a little weight to the ends. And working on one side at a time. You just keep doing auras. So again, it's very different than my first one. So a lot's going to depend on where you put your you're starting your smiley face to start with. So you do your center, then the both sides coming out, and then you're just going to take this one side and you're going to keep working around. So as you get a few in, you start to see these beautiful like waves that are happening around on the inside. And when we add our shading with the pencil, it's going to look amazing. So I'm just going to keep working around and filling this in. Continue using my pen marker, and I'm going to aura around everywhere. If you wanted to throw another one in here or there too, you're welcome to throw in another. But I'm just going to go around and aura. That's going to give us a break from the tangle I'm going to do around the inside of our border. And for that, I'm jumping right into my green sparkly gel pen, but any pen will work. You can continue with the one you were using for the Pangea in the center. So I'm just going to just roughly follow my border. As with the gel pen, you have to go a little bit slower, let the ink flow. And be careful, it takes a while for the ink to dry too, so that you don't smudge it. Then I'm going to do Crescent Moon on the inside of this all the way around. So I'm going to just put a little bump. Color it in. I'm going to skip a good distance and do another bump. I chose Crescent Moon. I know we do that quite often. It's one of my favorite go-to tangles, but also too, it just reminded me of that little smiley face that we did on the inside of the first tangle. All right, so I'm going to start to aura the crescent shapes. And we did lots of auras inside again. I'm going to go a bit bigger. Make it a nice bold aura. And I'll work my way all the way around. If I happen to run into my inside tangle, the Pangea, I'm going to just stop, lift my pen, and start on the other side. So I only had a couple places where I ran into the first tangle, but now when I start my second round, I know I'm going to start hitting it more often. So I'll just keep going. So at this point, you could stop with the Crescent Moon at any time. I think I'm going to do one more round though, but so I just wanted to let you know, you don't have to keep going if you really like how it looks. And actually it does look nice, so you could stop it at any time. I'm going to go for one more round. I'm going to stop there. You can keep going though till it's all tucked in behind. That would look really nice too. I put that on here. And you could fill in with little tipples in here and behind. You could just leave that nice white space as it is. I'm just going to give my gel pen just a moment to dry before I start into working with my shading. So I'm going to go back to the Pangea in the center. And for the shading, using my pencil, I'm going to shade where it overlaps. So along the first two side here and here, where we came around and we went straight across, there's an overlap. And then I'm going to get these really nice bumpy ridges. I want to stay just to the lower side of the ridges. I'm going to just come in with a line of graphite just around there. And I will use my tortillon and just gently soften these lines. And I really want to leave a lot of the white space. So down at the bottom, I'm going to just soften it and pull it down a bit. And some of these shapes, these kind of, they're almost like a wonky flower. You might have two ridges to follow depending on how your auras went. But like you can already see how this pulls forward through the center and pulls up in the shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same on each of the maybe along the edge of my crescent moon, I'm going to add some shading. So if you happen to have a white charcoal pencil, we can add some highlights on here, even though we're working on a white tile. So between my shading, I can come in and add a little white. Just will help pull that forward a bit. If you don't have this, don't worry. It's not it looks just as beautiful without, so it's not and that's our tile for today. So I'm going to initial. So before I initial, you want to kind of hold it and look at it from different angles. And choose the top and the bottom. Maybe I'll just sneak my initials just right in here.